and just think outside the box and get the views.
Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time.
Boxing is the best, the purest, the most beautiful sport in the world when the best fight the best.
I mean, I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 60 and you got to close it out. That's fine.
Us fighters who get in the ring and risk our lives, you know, there's enough pie for everyone to pass around.
Oscar De La Hoya says that when a boxer begins making millions late in his career, mistakes are almost guaranteed. He mentioned this while discussing Terence Crawford, who recently showed his greatness by defeating Canelo Alvarez. De La Hoya explained that this major victory could also bring serious problems ahead. He warned that facing Jermell Charlo could be especially risky since that fight is much tougher than it looks. Many people judge after the fact, but De La Hoya was among the few who believed Crawford would beat Canelo from the start.
Crawford versus Canelo, which I feel Crawford will win.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll be a great fight.
Yeah.
During his talk with Ariel Helwani, Oscar De La Hoya said the outcome didn't shock him at all. He had already picked the winner and clearly explained his reasons days before the fight took place.
I've always been impressed with Terence. Yeah.
He's surprised?
I was not surprised at all. I mean, I called him, I don't know how many days before.
De La Hoya, who had backed Canelo for many years, said, "I know Canelo very well. I understand completely what he can handle and what he cannot.
I know Canelo, I promoted him. I know exactly what he cannot handle and what he can handle, where he looks great and where he doesn't. And Crawford was the perfect opponent or fighter to derail the train. That was the bottom line. You move on Canelo just a little bit, and he gets lost."
De La Hoya felt sure about his prediction when Canelo's momentum stopped because he knew exactly what was coming. He is now using that same understanding to advise Crawford on his next steps. It wasn't luck. He clearly saw the weaknesses. A smart, strategic fighter was able to exploit Canelo's flaws like no one else could. De La Hoya said the main problem wasn't power or chin, it was movement. He explained that Canelo struggles against opponents who keep moving, as his feet stay planted, making him an easy target for a precise boxer like Crawford.
You horny!
Yeah, baby!
To tell you I told you so.
I told you!
I predicted the Canelo Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the f was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking candy from a baby.
My candy!
On Clapback Thursday, Oscar De La Hoya again said that Crawford fully outclassed Canelo, making him look unprepared in the ring. He also responded to those blaming Canelo's age, noting that Crawford is actually older and showed that age wasn't a factor.
Canelo made him look silly. And before you start with your shit about Canelo being old, just know that Crawford is older.
I'm too old.
That's not an excuse here. Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career.
Put some respect on it.
And it was a huge fluff.
How do you like them apps?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him.
This moment is important because it shows the clear difference between Crawford's skill and Canelo's specific weakness. Crawford won by taking advantage of that flaw. However, his next opponent may not have the same weakness, which could make the fight much harder.
Silence a lot of doubters, not all of them, but it'll silence a lot of doubters, and he can move on to the next challenge. And then that next challenge is possibly a top 10 in the world.
Smaller Charlo could be even more dangerous. The smaller Charlo has speed and fights harder, and he's in your face. It's a great payday for him, and he's obviously he took that into consideration when making the decision. It's going to be a tough task. I mean, 2 weight divisions is historical if he wins, and 2 weight divisions if he loses, he has the perfect excuse. I moved up 2 weight.
It often comes down to figuring out the best way to beat a particular opponent, and there's no way around it. When Ariel Helwani asked De La Hoya if Crawford would retire as champion, he said a firm no. His explanation was simple: once a fighter starts making 7- or 8-figure paydays, new temptations appear. De La Hoya says that's Crawford's biggest challenge right now. It's not about punches, hooks, or weight classes, it's about the money. He's seen it happen before. When boxers reach that level, they can lose some of the hunger that once drove them. The issue isn't skipping training, it's deciding when, who, and why to fight. Big money can make even the best fighters too comfortable, and that changes everything.
Hinting at maybe retirement. Do you think he retires? No,
Not at all.
Now he's making the big bucks, right?
Well, now he has a taste of 7 figures, you know, 8 figures, whatever it might be. Once you get a taste of that, towards the end of your career, you're gonna make a few mistakes.
The main advice here is to notice when your focus shifts from chasing greatness to chasing money. That's when you become vulnerable. Terence Crawford is at that stage now. He's at the top, getting non-stop offers, and every deal looks huge. It's easy to think nothing can go wrong. But that's exactly when, according to De La Hoya, trouble can hit, and that trouble could be Jermell Charlo. De La Hoya warned that facing Charlo could be a serious mistake. Why? Because Charlo is even more dangerous than Canelo. He stays composed under pressure, is strong at 154 pounds, and has unfinished business from his loss to Canelo. Charlo is the type of opponent a champion might underestimate while chasing another big payday, only to end up in serious trouble.
I mean, he just showed up for a paycheck. Canelo, obviously, like I said, on quicksand, throwing bombs. He won easy. But anyway, look, if we want boxing to survive, if we want boxing to thrive, we need super fights. Like, all the time. Fighters must fight each other. We have to come together. Promoters, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, whoever's out there, let's come together. I'm calling you out. Let's come together. Let's meet the power of the minds and come up with something, because boxing can die. I'm calling you out.
Crawford's challenge isn't only Charlo's skill. It's also resisting the temptation to get overconfident after an easy last win. Another concern is his health. Charlo has already faced a true super middleweight and felt that power up close. After losing to Canelo, Charlo admitted openly that Canelo is a dominant fighter. He also said part of the problem was that it was his first fight at that weight and that he wished he had come in heavier.
Going nowhere and, you know, just jump right into it. And, you know, Canelo's a motherfucking beast, you know what I'm saying? He an ox. You know, maybe I felt that more because of the fact that, you know, this is my first time at that weight division. I wish I could have gained a little bit more weight in between you know, from the weigh-in to that time, but I can't control my body and I can't, you know, but like God had this already written. And, you know, I'm glad that I was in there with, you know, to put on the performance for Showtime pay-per-view.
In your perspective, why don't you think he could have stopped Charlo?
No, he could have stopped Charlo. He should have. I mean, you don't, first of all, you had a fighter who was there just for the payday, literally. I mean, he's in the biggest stage of his life. Go out there and take some risks. You know, fight hard. People paid their money. People buy it on pay-per-view. Fight hard, because when you fight hard, you don't lose anything. When it's a great fight, there's no loser.
Charlo's main advantage now is the experience he gained from facing real power at 168 pounds. He knows exactly what that kind of strength feels like. Crawford, who started his career at just 135 pounds, managed to handle Canelo, but Charlo has now faced that level of force firsthand. When Charlo talked about Canelo's power, it served as a warning to Crawford. He hasn't yet learned how to handle that strength. That fight gave Charlo valuable experience and made him even more dangerous in the future. De La Hoya, however, was angry about the Canelo-Charlo fight, saying Charlo only took it for the money and wasn't truly willing to take risks.
Despite what anybody say, that's a 50-50 fight. Canelo got good inside game, but he gonna have to get past Charlo long arms. And Charlo, he can use his reach good. He's strong. He got a good jab. It's a toss-up with me.
That's going. Charlo got that punching power. I'm just gonna say that.
I think Charlo's gonna take it. The reason why I say that is because
But that same factor is exactly what makes Charlo so dangerous now. He's already taken the big payday and felt the sting of regret after a lackluster performance. The Charlo who faces Crawford won't be the same man who fought Canelo. This time, he'll be fighting to redeem himself, with nothing to lose and everything to prove. That desperate, fearless Charlo is the one Crawford should watch out for. Crawford beat Canelo by exploiting a predictable opponent, but Charlo, driven by pride and hunger, is unpredictable. The simple truth is this: never underestimate a fighter who's been embarrassed and learned from it.
I think it's a great fight. I just think that the press conferences were freaking lame.
Why?
Just because it was all staged. I mean, come on, guys. Look, if you want to see Canelo pissed off, take a look at my press conference. With Munguia and Canelo. That's Canelo pissed off.
It's my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste, Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time with this question. Of course, this is in the beak. This is the boxing, the sport #1 in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
There's another story going around online, especially on channels like Boxing Ego, claiming that Crawford's record is full of damaged opponents. People point to fights against Ricky Burns, who wasn't very strong, 5 feet 5 inches Gamboa, who moved up in weight, Jose Benavidez, who had a leg injury, Kell Brook with shattered eye sockets, and Errol Spence still recovering from a car crash and eye surgery. Some even argue that Canelo was past his prime and slowing down. If you buy into that view, then Charlo, healthy, strong, and fully recovered, could be one of the first truly elite, fit opponents Crawford has faced. But let's set the record straight. The damaged goods idea isn't accurate. Crawford's biggest weapon isn't power or speed, it's his fight IQ. Observers on Reddit have noted that Canelo struggles against smart boxers like Mayweather, Bivol, and now Crawford. That's the real story. Crawford wins by outthinking opponents, not just overpowering them. He studies fighters, finds their weaknesses, and dismantles them step by step. The question isn't who he's fought before, it's whether his sharp mind can handle someone bigger, stronger, and hungrier this time. Even Oscar admitted that Canelo versus Charlo was boring, and he wasn't wrong. They barely threw any real punches that night.
You posted on social media the other day, you're kind of fired up about the Canelo fight. Why didn't you like that fight?
Because it was boring.
What?
I mean, when a fighter throws one punch, when two fighters throw one punch in one round, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I'm a fighter who has been in there, in the line of fire, throwing 100 punches around. Like, the fans want to be entertained. So that was my critique, is coming from a fighter, coming from a world champion. Yeah, I was bored.
I just look, the fact that a new entity is coming into boxing and already wants to change a bill that has been in place for decades that protects fighters, to me, is shady. That's the bottom line. Think about it. It's shady. The first thing you want to do is change the law, change the rule, the Muhammad Ali Act, which protects the fighters. I instantly think about what they did with the UFC. I instantly think about the UFC signing hundreds, if not thousands of fighters, and they don't even see the light of day. There's total transparency with the bill. You're obligated as a promoter to disclose, everything that might be in the pot. The fighters call it the pot. And you're obligated to disclose, the financial status of your event, of the fighter's event. If you're a main event fighter, a championship fighter, you have every right to look at the books. And with this amendment, they're gonna try and eliminate that.
With TKO taking over, Showtime exiting, and promoters tied up in lawsuits, the sport feels directionless at the moment.
I thought I was proud that boxing was on Netflix. Just being a purist of the sport, you feel proud. I was not happy with the matchups. I mean, what I saw the week of the Canelo fight, they tried doing some contender boxing stuff. You're having precious contenders, right? Who I know can become world champions 3, 4, 5 years down the road. They're getting eliminated and beat. And you're never gonna hear from them again. That's not fair to the fighter. Now, if that's fair business to them, more power to them. Let them build whatever league they're trying to build. It's okay. Boxing here is safe with me and Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, the serious guys in the sport. The guys who respect the history and the honor that comes with it. You have a global platform, Netflix, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Every fight that a new audience is gonna watch should have been a no name, should have been champion versus champion. The matchup should have been better. I thought it was a slow night, completely a slow night. It was still great for boxing because it's out there and people are watching all over the world, but it left a little bad taste in my...
For a fighter like Crawford, this chaos threatens his 8-figure paydays. He could be pushed into taking a fight like Charlo just for the money instead of waiting for the ideal matchup. The drama outside the ring is now interfering with his career.
Bob Arum yesterday. Is there anything you could share about that meeting, what you guys have going during the press conference?
Yeah, there's really no details I can mention, but let's just say that some really big fights are going to happen very soon. And that's why I called out all promoters like Eddie Hearn, like Al Heyman, who's probably going to be impossible to talk to because nobody ever sees him. But we want to bring promoters together to work together and just create and the biggest fights possible for the fans. That's all I want to do, and that's what boxing deserves.
Is Charlo really the right opponent? Oscar doesn't think so. He said, "You've got to pay attention to the shark circling beneath Crawford." Time is now Crawford's biggest enemy. Fighters like Charlo, Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz are all serious threats he can't overlook. At 38, Crawford doesn't have much time left before the younger, hungrier generation takes over.
I just think that without that rule there, without that clause there, or wiping out the Muhammad Ali Act, the fighter is vulnerable. The fans are not gonna watch real boxing. And real boxing is the best talent that's developed fighting the very best talent. They're never gonna see that because they're gonna eliminate each other in their first fight, second fight, and guess what? If you don't win the second fight, you're gonna be shelved, just like the UFC does with their fighters.
That was his next move.
Right.
What would you like his next move to be?
I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 16, you got to close it off. That's fine.
Yeah. Would you like to see a rematch with Canelo?
Not really.
Okay. What about Canelo, I guess? What would you like to see in the future
I
for
don't
him?
know. Canelo can do anything he wants to. He's done so much already. There's really not much left for him to do. So it's really, I think Canelo probably could either take the rematch or close the door because Canelo's done way more than that.
Chance the winner of that fight fights Terence Crawford. I know he's 168.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Because that would be the next massive fight.
Absolutely. Right? I mean, imagine that. That would be the next massive fight. But then you have guys who are, the gatekeepers like Fundora.
Yeah.
Who's an amazing champion. I don't know how marketable that fight can be. We have to go through the system. And the system is WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF. Because fighters, first of all, love fighting for world titles. That's the bottom line. And you cannot erase that.
But De La Hoya believes Crawford has to face them if he truly wants to be remembered as one of the greats, even if it means putting his undefeated record on the line. The real question is whether Crawford is ready to risk everything he's built to prove his greatness.